So wait, how can I see you? No, I'll just go on.
Oh my God, Lace, just shut the fuck up.
I'll just go on that stream. I'm just gonna go on that stream.
It's okay. That's okay. That's the best intro that I could have asked for. I don't even know. That's okay. That's okay.
Dude, Funzo's not very fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's what we need. 1 point
Dude,
for Legacy.
he's done bullying Pierce in general chat, and now he's come to bully me in voice chat. I don't know what to deal with this.
Dude, why do your cameras keep moving? That's gonna be annoying if that keeps happening. Whatever. So this is the ward. Basically, what's gonna happen is it's around the horn. Except I can't get copyrighted, so don't tell anyone about it. We're gonna ask a question, and then we're gonna go first off down the list: Sauce, Funzo, Bulljax, then Legacy. And we're gonna say they will say what they think about the question or have some hot takes. I'll give them points based off what I think of their opinion. So this is incredibly subjective to me. They have to please me and I guess the viewers with what their opinion is. So first, there's been some drama with it. We've had a little bit of MD12 action because there's been tipping going on in both some officials and also our scrim. So the most recent one last night, RD12 Masters Div 2 lower division finals. And in one of the games, Hull City got killed. Staples gives him the big tip, and we get, why is this Divine Chimp tipping me?
Wait,
Sauce.
hold up. What team stomped that series? I forget.
It was too big to fail, Legacy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So Sauce is BM, or is tipping BM, at least in amateur leagues.
It's like a light form of BM. I think it's allowed because it is. I don't know. It just pulls up on the side of your screen. It's like not a big deal. It's not like their game is getting paused. People aren't saying things in all chat. I think it's like a very light banter line. I think it's right there. It draws the line of what BM is.
Okay. Funzo, you're next. Is tipping actually BM in leagues?
It is absolutely not BM. It's called tipping for a reason. You're tipping somebody. It's the form of gratitude, right? You go to a restaurant and you get a really good meal from a nice server, you tip more. That's how people need to think about it. It is not BM. It's ridiculous that people get offended about it. It's something actually built into the client in the game. It's not like you're physically working someone up so bad that they have to press enter and type something like you're a chipmunk or whatever. So no, it is not BM. It's perfectly allowed. I love it. Everyone should do it. Do it to me. Do it to others.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Bulljax, your camera's next.
I think it's definitely BM in like a very light sense, but I don't think it's like as terrible as people make it be. Like if you get BM tip, there's no way you should be all chatting somebody. Like that's insane. Like all chatting is way more BM than any tipping ever could be. But it definitely has implications of like, oh, you fucked up. Here you go. Here's an award for fucking up, you idiot. That's not all it is. Like, there's just no way. Like, it's that big of a deal.
Okay. All right, round us out, Legacy. Tipping in leagues, BM.
Tipping, kind of like pausing. You cannot counter it. There's no mute all button for that. It'll go through. So I think it's a good mechanic of the game. Like Funzo said, if you can't handle it, then don't play the game. Go play like turbo mode in anonymous. Anonymous build. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I mean, I agree with that. I think the biggest point is that it's part of the game mechanic that does not it doesn't inhibit your ability to play, right? Like pausing, I'd say, is where the line goes forward, where like, okay, now they're not playing the game because of your BM. And at least with all chat, you can still mute. It's still degenerate, I think, but okay. No, I like that. I like that.
Yo, Math, what do you call it? Funzo is getting me laughing because he's talking about tipping at a restaurant, dude. But like, if you like apply that to Dota, that's like someone makes a bad play and you tip them. So like, what, dude, what if you order the lobster and they bring out some like burnt piece of like chicken and you just like leave a fat tip for them? Like, like what?
All right. Reverse Uno tipping. It's very powerful.
Okay. The next one, the only thing that I know is that, Funzo, you're going last. So we'll do the same thing for Sauce going first. And this time, MD12 has had a really explosion in teams over the last few seasons. We have capped now at 40 moving into season 9. So we have a little bit of people not being able to play like anyone else in the league. You're barely able to get your entire division in. And then by the time you hit the playoffs, you probably haven't seen a lot of those teams yet. So Sauce is 40 teams too many, especially for a league like MD12 that caps at LAN.
I've always said that I think between 18 and 30 is like the good amount. I think over that is fine. It's just it gets a little interpersonal. Like as we said, and a lot of people have said in all their content so far this year, I just don't recognize these players, and I'm glad it's growing, but it's a little harder to become interpersonal with a lot of the players in it.
Okay. I don't even know who's next. Not Funzo. Bulljacks. All right.
Yeah.
40 teams too many.
Oh, yeah, I think definitely way too many. Way too many. There's no reason. Like, I don't even know half these teams anymore. I try to learn everybody's name and, like, personalities throughout the whole season just to, like, interact with them. But it's nice to interact with each other. That's the whole reason we play Dota. But there's over 210 people now. So many different new players. There's so many different high MMR players added as well. I hate to say it, but it kind of just feels like a shit show. I had no idea what's going on half the time, and I don't even want to open the Discord. A million fucking messages all the time.
Okay. Legacy, 40 teams. What you think?
I mean, if you want to get to know people, it definitely is probably a bit too much because you're not going to necessarily play. You're not going to be able to play every single team. You're not going to be able to like interact with every single person that you might have on like a 16-team league. However, I must say, I think the MD2 admins do a lot better job than, let's say, if all of a sudden MD2L started getting ran by the Division 2 RD2L Masters admin staff, then maybe it would be an absolute shit show with 40 teams. I think it's working how it is. I mean, more competition, bigger prize pool, and look at where the LAN is now, right? You wouldn't get that if you were just like at some 16-team cap where it was $5 an entry. You'd be at like Funzo's house in the backyard with some like pool chair.
Hey,
I can't speak. Pool
that's
chairs
a
or
party.
something.
That's a party. All right.
All right. Well, lead into it. Funzo, what do you think of the 40 team system in MD2L?
Well, I don't think it's right or wrong. I know this is supposed to be something like we're not drawing a line on it, but I think it's just catering to a different group, and I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, like there's leagues with 4 teams that wish they had 40, right? So if you think about it from that aspect, it's good. It's good to have growth. It's good to have more players, and I agree with what Sauce and Bulljack said that it splits the community and the interpersonal relationship stuff, but in order to succeed and grow, and I mean ultimately one day you want Valve to some sort of recognize this kind of MMR player draft kind of system. You got to get big and you got to get people and you got to have prize pools. So I think it's good. I think every league should try to strive to grow.
Okay. All right. Damn, Funzo. Even when you're going last, I expect you to get less points as you go, but it's pretty good. I like it.
Well, I'm about to crack beer 2 here, so we'll just see that
my
point,
God.
tally
Oh,
dwindle.
let's
All
go.
right.
All right. Well, next one. We've had a little bit of an issue again with can the A bracket fit? We had 2 seasons ago. No lunches allowed for Maddie, saying that if we want to get this bracket fit in, we're going game to game to game with no breaks. And now this 40 team is accumulating to, I believe, a 16-team A bracket as we go into a 2-day LAN. And this is going to be a best of 1 in the lower bracket, but we have best of 3s in the top side. I believe we're going to start off with Sauce. Can we fit a bracket into 2 days? Is it going to happen?
It's going to be a little tough if games go past the expected 3 hours, but I sat down with Narathine and I showed a handful of people a couple weeks ago, like what it would look like. And for what we did there, you can get 3 1-hour breaks in a day. Even if you're playing max games. So I think you should be able to get everything in and work towards that 10 o'clock hard cutoff time that we have to be leaving the building.
Okay. I'm trying to look. We'll go for Legacy this time. Legacy, can we fit a bracket in?
I think you definitely can, because you also have to look at it from a kind of larger perspective. You have a lot of people here it's an amateur league, right? So people like have full-time jobs, or they should. At least that's Funzo's, mentality. You should have a job. People have full-time jobs. It's kind of hard to, get away from work to come down for, like what the TI would have is maybe a week or 2, or they have like very like well-scheduled, spaced-out events. You kind of have to jam it in. I think at the end of the day, if you're in A bracket, like, look, you're in the playoffs, you're in the contention for the prize pool. You just got to suck it up, and champions are those who can get through. They're conditioned to have the cardio to keep going through many series, and lower bracket runs. People are gonna have a lot of Dota, but I don't know. You shouldn't really be complaining if you're still in the tournament, because if you're in like trash ass B bracket, which is basically just participation trophy. Yeah, I mean, just play kickball out back with Sauce at that point.
Back in my day, we had to walk uphill both ways through the snow to get to LAN. I don't want to hear any of your kids complaining. Okay. Bulljacks, what do you think about A bracket fitting in 2 days?
I have a quick question. So what time does a day start for Dota? What time at 10 o'clock and what did it start?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. this
So
time. Yeah.
9 to 10. So you're expecting what? So like only 40 of these teams play in the playoffs or whatever, right?
16.
And
16
What if-
will play
so
in
we
the
have-
bracket.
we just have so like there's a lot of factors in here. Like I think it can happen, but it feels like a logistical nightmare because you're including these online players in these playoffs too. I think that sole reason is going to make it hell to play any games. I think those people are just going to take like 5, 10, unless you're going to like have strict punishments for people not showing up right away. I just don't see how games are actually going to like happen right after another. There's no way it's going to happen. Demons are lazy. They like to pee. They like to smoke. They like to be alive. I just don't see it. I think in 13 hours of Dota a day, well, people may think that's like doable and fine, but like it's way more than people think. Like you get exhausted after about 4 to 6 hours. Like I've done a lot of like the TI quals and whatnot. And at the end of the day, like we've gone to like round of 8, whatnot. You're just dead tired in this game.
All right. I think I won't speak until Funzo goes. All right, Funzo, round it out. Come on. What do we think about the 18 bracket?
Completely agree with Bulljacks on this. I think they are going to run into a logistical nightmare of this. Not only that, it's going to create anxiety for people playing and people admins doing it. If you have a hard cutoff of 10 o'clock where you got to be the fuck out of the building, that to me is like one of the cardinal rules of you don't want to do that during a tournament. What happens if on that Sunday a patch comes out and the coordinator's down for 2 hours? What happens? Like, what do you do? What do you do? You guys got to go online then for the rest of the tournament? Nobody really knows. I think they should just play round 1 online and then go from there on, because then you want to leave buffer room, right? People are there to have fun and enjoy themselves. Why are we doing this time crunch thing where, Sauce is going to have to be running his computer up to the main stage trying to hook everything up while there's only 30 minutes left to play the game till they have to shut the doors? It's nonsense.
Okay. All right. I don't think anyone has actually thought about what if there's a patch, because Lord knows that Valve likes to hit those things
Sundays.
in opportune
Sometimes.
times. Yeah.
Yo, what if they just don't have internet at the
Internet goes down,
Sunday?
power goes out. What do you like? My
GG.
team's online. We're all ready to show up. And
They
then the
only
power
said
goes
they're
out.
supplying power, right? Like, yeah, they
What
didn't
if
say
someone's
anything about
computer
internet.
breaks? Yeah, what if
Just
someone's
blame
computer
Ethernet.
breaks? What if you lose a keyboard?
Shit goes wrong. Hey, if
Yeah.
everybody knows I work in a field that has problems all the time. Shit goes wrong all the time. Doesn't matter. You can plan for the best, but you should prepare for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that will go wrong will go.
Yeah.
Like,
Amen.
Dude, you could also just have some J Mini staring at you, like over your shoulder while you're playing. It adds to the anxiety for sure.
you have to captain's arm wrestle for games at the end of the There you go.
All right, next one, piggybacking off the tournament style, best of 1 for the lower bracket, so we can fit all these games in. We got a prize pool on the line, and we're jumping into elimination games where only one game decides if you can move on, and that opens up for a lot of cheese picks and maybe some obvious misplays that might not happen the next 2 games. So, Sauce, you're up. Is best of 1 eliminations should be allowed even in a prize pool best of 3 league?
I think it's fine. Everyone starts in upper bracket, so there's always the just stay upper lol kind of argument. But like you're guaranteed at LAN, 3 games. So I don't know. I think it's fine. Yeah, you want to win towards the prize pool, and I'm not trying to downplay the prize pool, but realistically, it's like $100 to $150 a player. Like it's not. I'm gonna pay for my travel fee, so. I'm just gonna have fun. I don't want to play too many games of Dota, so I don't want to play a bunch of best of 3s. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to play too many. So
Okay. Next one up here, Legacy. What do you think about best of 1s?
I mean, I think it's fine. Like, why is March Madness so cool, and why is the MLB finals and then whatever their playoffs are suck? Like, everyone just watches Game 7 in the MLB. Everyone watches all the March Madness games because those are actually hype. You can throw money down. You can make some bets. That's when you get like the random grapefruit team like destroying. What was that team? I forget. It was first round last season. Whatever, like some no-name team. You just get some like upsets that just make make it enjoyable. It's kind of like what you like to see. I mean, sure, have like grand finals. They can be best of 3, best of 5s, whatever. But for all the people slumming it down in the lower bracket because they're trash during the regular season, give them best of 1s. The dogs will go at each other.
Dogs in my tournaments. Bulljacks up next. What do you think about best of 1s and the lowers?
I personally am a big fan of best of 1s. I think just to get games going and just like you just kind of get brass tacks, bare knuckles. Like you just win the game. Like there's no excuses. You have to be there, ready to go. And start upper bracket. I mean, like if you're really gonna like be the best. I know like the Sun of God team made their deep run last season, but I feel like traditionally, like strong teams will finish upper bracket and just win the whole thing. Like if you're the shit, like you're gonna be the shit.
All right. Funzo, rounded out best of ones. Is it a grief?
No, I agree with Bulljacks. I think it's good, but back to Legacy's point, the MLB playoffs, actually, the wild cards are best of ones, just so everybody knows that and is clear. I think that might be a -1 or 2 against Legacy. That said, all the NBA finals, they do NBA, not what you said, but NBA finals is a best of 7. It draws more viewerships than the NCAA. So,
Nah, they're dropping. They're down 40% now. That's cap.
Okay,
cap.
that's anecdotal.
Cap.
Anyways, I like best of ones. I think I agree with what Legacy and Bulljack said on that regard. I think it brings a bit of spice to a draft. It makes you kind of play on the edge of things, and any little mistake is amplified a lot in a best of one. I got no problems with them. I don't really care much for it being like 2 or 3 rounds or something. I really don't know the rule, but I wish maybe it was just 1 round if they had more time to do it.
Okay.
It's every lower bracket up until top 6 where the money starts.
Yeah, I don't care much for that. I think it should just be the lower bracket round 1.
Yeah. Then we wouldn't fit it in, right? We
Then we would fit it in.
Can I
It's
add?
gonna be a patch.
I do want to add one more thing. I think that teams should start in lower bracket. I don't think everybody should start in upper bracket.
Yes, 100% agree,
I think
Bulljack.
it's I think like 15, maybe 14, 16. I don't know, whatever many teams to start in the lower bracket. But if they haven't won that many games, maybe we just like send them off and just send them to the B bracket right away. Like if you lose the first couple rounds, I don't know. It just
Well,
feels.
It's only top 16 of the entire league, so it's only like you have to get top 4 in your division.
I just
The B
don't think
bracket should be like the
anybody else
gulag.
ever-
You win, you come back.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe like the first person you get to play like the losers finals or something.
Nah,
like
if
that.
you win the B bracket, you get another shot. You know, all the other people that
I get to
win
be
one
super
game,
cool.
whatever.
Mm,
But I still think people should start in lower brackets. I think like 4 teams or something should just start in lower bracket.
Everyone else plays chess with Bob and there on the early first round exit table.
Okay. Well, hey, next
Yeah.
one up. Should MD2L change the stand-in role? And what is the ideal stand-in role? So obviously this one is stemming from some big smack DMs where we had maybe a player who lost some MMR and another player that gained some MMR. But at the end of the day, MD2L has current MMR stand-in. So it doesn't matter what you signed up at. You got good, you gained some MMR. Well, hey, your replacement is going to be that same MMR. So first off, again, we'll start off with with Sauce this time. Should the MD12 stand-in role be changed?
yes, current MMR is stupid. If you care enough to gain the MMR, you care enough to show up to your matches. It's too abusable. Like, what's stopping me from getting someone I think is going to gain MMR? And then if he has bad availability, who cares? But he's up 1,000 and what? Who cares? Like my Herald player, not the best availability, but do I think he's like legitimately Archon? Yeah, I do. If he actually got to play like for a weekend or a week and got to Archon, and then I just got to use an Archon every game, like that'd be so dumb. I think it's too abusable. Current is stupid. Just use what you signed up for.
Okay. Bulljacks up next. Is current MMR bad or should it be changed?
Honestly, I think it's fine. I think current stand MMR is fine because like you kind of practice with your team and playing with your team all the time. And if you have to downgrade like your position, it really hurts your team. And I think on a counter note, while Sauce did say like, oh, you get somebody bad that gains MMR, I mean that's literally what everybody does for their carry and their mid already. Like I think that's already a problem already for the higher MMR players already. It's just now on the lower end. So I think if you want to address, you kind of have to address both points if you really want to tackle that sort of issue. So I still think it's fine. I think current MMR is definitely fine. It kind of plays up to your team's current level.
Okay. Legacy, currently an unbiased opinion here. What do you think of the current MMR rule?
I mean, I think I can see the side where they want it to be whatever your current or highest MMR, like whatever the 2 is. I know Maddie wanted to stress that, especially coming into like tournament weekend and stuff, you want to be representative of how strong your team is, like at its like best, right? And let's say you have a 4K player that somehow goes to 6K. Your team now has a 6K mid player, right? And that's the strength of your team. So you're representing it through having someone of another like equal skill joint, like being a part of your team if you're missing out on them. So I can see that side of like wanting that, but at the same time, when the league average is 4.3K, unless it's the player that is on your team, like that's gaining MMR, it's kind of just too abusable. Like Sauce said, you can just have like, you know, I can get Blake Brand on my team. I could boost him up to like Divine 1. And then all of a sudden I just say, you know what, pretend to be sick every single game the rest of the season. And I get like Shane or someone to stand in. Yeah, really abusable. I don't think you have to worry about it too much in this league. I don't think there's that many like, you know, 6 stand-ins. And even if you do, like whoever that guy that stood in for Reed, like he didn't really even do that much, like so what can you do?
All right, Funzo, round it out for us. So what do you think about the current stand-in rule? Should it be changed?
No, I agree with Sauce and Legacy. I think it is terrible. And the reason being is that we go through the sign-up process and we have the lovely admins of MD2L vet us and go through us and determine adjustments and so forth. They do not do that for stand-ins. If I pull somebody off the street and I go find them and they look like they're not a Smurf, they don't adjust them based on their play, right? Which we do, or anybody over 6.5, whatever, 6,000 MMR, their adjustment. So you're pretty much putting into an unknown variable. And back to what Sauce and Legacy said, if all of a sudden Drayden spends a weekend, not hitting the blunt and actually playing some ranked Dota, and all of a sudden goes up to Ancient 5, and Bobby drops down to Ancient 5, do you think that's comparable? That if Bobby, wasn't playing the league, I could just draw him in for Drayden? No, it's not at all. It's crazy. You should go by what
Drayden's
is
better.
Exactly. It's nonsense. Drayden's never lost an MD2L finals. So it's complete nonsense. It's complete nonsense. I think you go RD2L, they try to bring this up all the time as well, is that people want current stand-ins. It's crazy, and it's even worse in RD2L because you do a player draft based on that MMR, so your team's MMR is based around that. So terrible idea. They should just do it at sign up. It's way easier for all the admins and everyone else.
I like it. I like it a lot. The last question that we'll have, I'll try to fly a bit so that everyone has a chance. Will Masters actually happen next season? And what needs to change with everything in Masters? Sauce, you're going to start us off. Or sorry, no, Bulljacks, you'll start us off here.
Man, I have a lot to say about this actually. Masters, I played the first season of Masters, and we lost 2 players. Pike and Squid both left. Pike quit Dota and Squid left, okay? And we still made it to our finals match. It had to wait 2.5 months for our finals match. I pinged people multiple times to play their games, everything under the sun, and nothing would happen, dude. It was insane. I don't know how people are not just forced to quit games or get subs. Like we literally got 2 subs every single game when we played our games. People are so irresponsible. I don't know how people just are not just forfeited in that league at all. Honestly, it is a disaster. I think maybe Travis is going to start next season and do a little bit better. I think he's doing a little bit better, but even this season was still a disaster. I'm sure you saw the comments. I love the shitposts in there. I'm sure you've seen me in there all the time. But yeah, definitely, it had the potential to be the best league. I feel like it had the potential. It had the player base behind it with RD2O, and it still can be, but it just needs to be more well kept.
Okay. Sauce, next. I know you've also been in the Masters pool for a while.
Yeah, I played 2 seasons. I don't know. I'm super done with ever since EPC started and they're like, oh, we have to shut Premiere down. The admin team literally just was like, you know what? I love eating shit. They just can't do anything right, it seems like. The Discord is a terrible place to be. There's no casters anymore that are they didn't bring it up there. The YouTube page hasn't had an upload in 5 months. No matches are being played. I was eliminated from the playoffs 3 months ago, and Legacy isn't even to grand finals yet. And they still have to play. This is really, really getting drawn out, and they're bringing in a bunch of admins that are people that in RD12 is the main player base, and most of the people are not happy with those people that are now getting selected as admins. So now they're just okay, well, I'm not gonna go play in a league where I have those players avoided in pubs. Why would I want to go play under those guys? Would they get to make my rules? It's really silly with the decisions that are being made over there, and I'm personally not going to play it again. So,
all right, Legacy. What do you think about the Master System?
I mean, yeah, as Sauce kind of said, I've been waiting. I remember there was a time where there was literally a month and a half between games and series. Also, during the regular season, we planned around the default time. We have very limited play times that we can play because of work schedules for some of our players. And there are so many teams that they just, I don't know, they buddy up with the admin. They just DM Travis hey, you don't care about this division anyways. Can you give us some slack? And then all of a sudden we're playing 3 weeks later on a time that doesn't even work for us. And we have to get a stand-in. It's kind of bullshit. I don't want to disappoint the admins because I feel it's not. If it's just Travis, I'd also kind of get burnt out and not really care about some of these trash, low skill divisions such as Division 2, as evident by the playoff run we just had. So I don't know. I mean, I feel if they want to make it better, they gotta maybe almost gatekeep who can join. There's a whole quote unquote vetting process. If you look at the team sign up, you get like a check or like some random symbol that Travis has for like people he likes or something. I don't know, but yeah, you check because then you can also stop some of these like RD12 mainstayers that just kind of come in and randomly just like type stuff in all chat like, why is this like shit divine tipping me? Like you just get like some of like these like low skill players out of here, and then all of a sudden you get the quality of games up. Quality of games come up, maybe the admins start thinking, the quality of league should go up as well. Quality league goes up, maybe everyone starts actually taking it seriously. I mean, kind of what Sauce says. I don't know if I necessarily want to play next season. Maybe we'll see what Division 1 has to offer, but Division 2 was not a fun experience.
Okay. Funzo, round it out here. What do you think about the Masters experience?
Well, for full transparency, I was part of the admin group that helped create RD2L Masters, and it's something that I had a great pride in, and I played for 2 seasons, and to see the state it's in now is saddening, to be completely honest with all you guys. I'm good friends with Trav, and I think the admin team he brought in, I know a lot of people give them shit. I have given them shit in the past too, but I've seen it firsthand being in the admin chat. I just don't think he delegates his work enough, and I think he had a lot of real-life commitment and stuff going on that RD2L Masters just became not a focus, and it saddens me because I agree with Bulljax. I think it really could have been one of the best leagues, in my opinion, competed well with our AD2L and could have been better than, more popular than MD2L, for sure. Unfortunately, the state it's in, it's just, I won't be returning to play next season. Not that anything happened to me or anything like that is deterring me from it, but I just see it firsthand that it's not enjoyable anymore. There's no community. There's no Discord channels that people talk in. That's something I think ND2L does very well, where the community is very active and present. RD2L as well, but I think what has to happen is from the top down. It's just there has to be a little bit of change from the top, and they need to start promoting their product a little better.
Okay, I think one thing
it'll happen, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of teams. I think it'll be very few.
I think the one thing that the only thing that I think everyone missed is that this league started as the AD2L killer, and they had a bunch of people who, right after the unpause roll thing happened at AD2L, they got dropped from a lot of their teams, and they went right over to Masters. And that first season was pretty impactful, and for whatever reason, the ball was just dropped in this season that could have retained a lot of those teams.
Fonzo left.
Thoroughly enjoyed season 1. Thoroughly enjoyed season 1. At the end of season 1, where
very fun,
I don't
very
know,
good season.
Last 3 weeks of playoffs into season 2 was just awful quality, and it's rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think part of it is what Sauce said about the DPC that hurt, because Premier, I liked watching Premier games. I was like, this is cool. You see like Lukey's playing in your league and stuff, and you're like, oh, that's sweet. Stuff like that really pumps up a player and gets people excited about the league. But as soon as whatever happened this second season, I don't like putting blame on admin groups and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day, it's like any company. If you don't have good returns in the quarter, it's the CEO's fault, and you just have to bite that bullet and realize that, hey, either I need to address it and reformat it, or I need to step away. One of the two things. So.
Okay. Oh, hey, I appreciate you guys joining. Funzo barely beats out Legacy. That last round was amazing.
You
guys,
it was tied, and Funzo kept talking until he saw the point go up. It's absolutely rigged.
Legacy was clicky. He was clicky.
No. This was really good. I appreciate you guys doing this with me, and I think I'll be logging these points, see what happens. But for anyone who sees this and says, hey, I may want a part of this, message me, and I'll tell you whether or not I actually think that you would do well in a scenario like this. But for everyone who joined, I really appreciate you guys doing this. This was really fun.
Thanks for doing this. This was fun.
Now, Math, how regular is the ward going to be?
The ward will hopefully be regular for every week. I'm going to try to compile some, maybe some drama, maybe some scenarios that happen in each league. So also, if there's something that you think that would be a great discussion point for the ward in the next week, then please, by all means, let me know. And maybe we can address it.
Come on, Sauce. It's every 6 minutes, bro.
Next week, can we talk about Bofa?
What's Bofa, Funzo?
Bofa, these nuts!
-3.
Legacy wins. GG. All right. Well, yeah, no, that's all I have. I'm going to find someone to host. It looks like Apon. Apon Zeus, the real man. Casting.
I think Ricky's also casting the quals too.
Well, they both. And it looks like this one has Brightside.